Why do pop records always do this? Listen, here's the thing. I get it, but it's still just so frustrating. Here's what I'm talking about. A couple videos back, we talked about Adele's brand new single, Easy on Me. In that video, I talked about how the old me would probably have wanted to not like it, but the reality was I do. Part of the reason for that is because there's something so nice about the simplicity of such a classic chord progression with Adele's incredible voice that is just so pleasing to listen to. I stand by everything that I said in that video, but then the rest of the album came out, and oh my god, as great as Easy on Me is, wow, this is just, I can't believe how good this is.
I'll be taking flowers to the cemetery of my heart for all of my lovers in the present and in the dark. Every anniversary I'll pay respects and say I'm sorry, for they never stood a chance as if they could, when no one knows what it's like to be hurt.
Yo! First of all, the melody. And this is one of the classic complaints about pop music, I don't know, whatever you want to call it these days, where we've moved sort of into this space where melodies are written, oftentimes they're like single note. It's not that there's anything wrong with that, it's a style. And sometimes that style is awesome, but we don't really see this type of melodic writing as much in today's music. It's much more common to hear in some jazz standards, for Great American Songbook stuff, things that were from maybe musicals in the past, that kind of stuff where the melodies were incredibly complex and they did a lot of work to outline the chord progressions rather than allowing the chord progressions to just move underneath and keeping the melody like one note or whatever. We used to do a lot more of that, but this melody is so reminiscent of that old style of maybe musical writing. I think I saw a comment on this at one point. It was talking about how this almost sounds like an old Disney movie, and it's just like so beautiful, and the melody is so intelligently written, and it just works with the chords in such a beautiful way. Listen to this again.
I'll be taking flowers to the cemetery of my heart.
Ooh.
For all of my lovers in the present and in the dark. Every anniversary I'll pay respect.
Ooh. Let's check that line out. That resolution there, you guys know how much I like this minor 4 chord. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, so hold on. So we're going from this G minor. This is just so good. There are a couple really cool things happening right here. 2 things. Number 1, it's the 1 chord. It's F major 7, which is where this tune kind of rests. It's the home base of this tune. But our bass note is the 5th. That's because we're sort of walking up from this. Gorgeous, absolutely beautiful bass motion. And then at the same time, we have this incredible melody. Landing on the major 7th of the 1 chord, which is sounds dissonant, except for in context, right? In context, it sounds beautiful. Come on!
Cemetery of my heart. For all of my lovers in the present and in the dark. Every anniversary I'll pay respects and say I'm sorry, for they never stood a chance as if they could.
It immediately feels nostalgic, right? It feels like something that we haven't heard in a long time, and I think that's partially because it's kind of true.
in everything a little bit more. Now that now.
So they're using a really nice device there, which is when you want to move in a scale, if you have a chord and you're looking to sort of like move that around, you could just do that, right? Keeping the same chord. Or if you want to give it a little bit of color, just put a 5 on your other note. So we start here, this is settled, this is the 1, and we're going do da da. So we want this to be settled and that to be settled, but the one in between, we can keep it still the 1 chord. It's fine, it works, but how cool does it sound if we make it the 5 chord? And by 5, I'm talking about the A, and we can voice that in a number of different ways. In this particular case, it's going to be the most useful to make it a flat 9, A dominant chord, which that right there. So it looks like G diminished, but it's basically an upper extension of A dominant, which is our 5 chord. So follow me here. Right? Same function. It gets us to the same place as, right? But instead of this just also being the 1 chord, we've now created more color. You know, and we can just keep that process going. I'm just going 1 5 1 5 1 5 with every movement. And that's what we hear the strings doing right here.
A little bit more. Now that
It's very subtle, but it's there, and wow, does it make a difference. I'm sorry, I'm completely geeking out. Before we go on, I want to remind you that everything on the Academy is 30% off. Just go to the link in the description, cornellmusicacademy.com, use the code MUSICTHEORY30 at checkout, and anything you want to get on the course is 30% off. Right now, we have 3 full-length courses, including our Intro to Piano course, which is over 170 videos that'll get you started. You don't need any experience. We'll teach you everything you need to know to start pursuing your ability to play the piano. If you've ever wanted to try and you've never just thought that you knew where to start or you didn't want to take the time, check it out. It's go at your own pace. It's so clearly laid out and labeled. Everything's easy to follow. The lessons are super clear and concise. It's a fantastic way to get started, and I know you're gonna love it. And go get 30% off right now using Music Theory 30 at checkout. And if you're a little bit more advanced, be sure to check out our Intro to Improvisation course, as well as our course all about how to use and apply modes in your own playing. We are constantly working on new content that's gonna be up on the Academy, and once you're already a member, you're gonna get access through the secret Discord channels, and on those channels, once you're a member, you will get access to even bigger discounts on future courses. So if you want to get started with piano, go take advantage of the 30% off discount and get started today. It's the best way you can support the channel. I'm so appreciative of your support, so thank you, and let's keep geeking out about this because, oh my god, it's fantastic.
the dust has settled, I rebut all my rebuttals. No one knows what it's like to be us.
Now, check this out.
Strangers by nature.
Ah, okay.
Strange.
We have E over F. Sometimes I'll play this as like a diminished major 7th chord, which you could kind of call it either one, because that's kind of what it is. If we take diminished with a major 7th, just break down what that looks like. It's just E with an F in the bass. So E over F, E diminished major 7th, same thing. But it's a beautiful sort of approach. A very interesting color before getting to kind of the point of where we're going right there. Wow. This is a device that I find myself using all the time. I mean, if I'm playing like... that's the same thing. Just different key. Beautiful.
Strange.
not super clear, but I feel like we have this pedal, this F pedal in the bass, and we're moving everything around it. Right, so we kind of have this E over F, then the F chord, and then this B flat minor 6 chord, and then the D minor chord. Yeah. Yeah. Same again. Beautiful. Whoa! Okay. Okay, so that was. Oh, interesting. So the bass is playing a D flat there, but I feel like it's kind of that. I feel like it's still sort of that B flat minor 6 chord, but we're putting the third of that in the bass. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah.
Will I ever get there?
Ah.
Oh, I hope someday
Woo.
to nurture what I've done.
Beautiful, just incredible. This has such a sentimental, beautiful sound, and it's making such great use of that minor 4 sound. And then there is a tool that I've always loved that this uses right here, because we're going. This thing, when you play the 1 chord with the 5 in the bass, it creates this super grand kind of like, we are coming to the end. Get ready because this is the finale. It's not finished because that 5 in the bass helps it feel like it's still not totally resolved, but this is the 1 chord, so it feels very triumphant and we've arrived somewhere, but you know that it's not fully finished yet. And that's what this does. After working through all these changes, that's just like one of the most, it's just so, I don't know, triumphant is the word that comes to mind. Come on. It's so nice to hear melodies written like this. It sounds nostalgic. It does share a lot of those similarities with many of the things from the Great American Songbook, many of the things that have these intricate melodies, so many color tones, leading tones from chord to chord. Melodies just don't do that as much today, and it's just part of the style and the shift in modern music. But it's so nice to hear somebody with an incredible voice like Adele sing this kind of stuff. I heard this and I immediately was like, why is the other one the one that they always put out? So many things about Easy on Me make it the right choice from a marketing perspective of how to generate excitement about her new album, and clearly it worked. They know what they're doing. And I think this happens with so many artists and so many albums. People who are fans often say like, yeah, the one that was the single wasn't even close to the best one. And this is just one example. I mean, there were so many things off this record that I thought were phenomenal. I loved the album personally, and I thought that it went to such great depths musically. But I want to know, what did you think of the album and what were your favorite things? It's funny, I think when we talk about artists like Adele, sometimes with you guys it can be hit or miss, and that makes complete sense. I mean, there's some excitement about Adele, but then a lot of the times there are many of you who don't seem to really care too much. And I would say I'd probably put myself in that category with many other things, but I gotta tell you, if you are somebody who doesn't usually care much about Adele, give this album a try. You will not regret it. It's full of fantastic stuff. I want to hear your input in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And again, be sure to check out the Cornell Music Academy and get 30% off your purchase using the code MusicTheory30. There is so much to go over on this album, and I would love to do more if you guys are interested in seeing that. So let me know if there's any particular tune on this album that you want to hear me break down. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.